please.
Logan, Greg, Concacaf.com. This Pulisic kid seems pretty good. To anybody who might have been buried under a rock for the last 4 years, how would you describe him as a player and what he offers your national team?
I think it's what we've been talking about, getting Christian in positions where he can change the game. He's got a high level. He's, a very dynamic player, good vision, good dribbling, and it's about getting him in position to be able to affect what's happening on the field.
Yes, over here. Yeah.
One thing I'll add, though, on that is, this was probably his best defensive work that he's done so far. Really good shape, good movement, and, that was an emphasis before the game, so it's good to see that being executed.
Go ahead.
Greg, 5 goals in the last 25 minutes of the game. What changed? Was it just a matter of finally getting that second goal and the floodgates opening a little bit, or did you see something different out of the team in that part of the game?
I think it was the first half set up the second half pretty nicely. We wanted to have a high tempo. We wanted to keep them moving. We felt that our fitness could have an effect on them. And then, a slight adjustment that we made in the second half was dropping our right winger down into the space. They were man-orientated in the midfield. We needed to create an extra man. And when we dropped the midfielder down, it had a positive effect on the match. We moved our right back up to keep Cato from transitioning, and it pinned him back, but then it created space in the midfield. Hey, Andrew.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like you've had, after the last couple of friendlies before the Gold Cup, a couple disappointing friendlies, and now the last 2 games, you've scored 10 goals in the 2 games. Do you think you've changed anything tactically approaching this tournament? And how do you think that's changed the team, and how do you think that's kind of resulted in the success that you've had?
There hasn't been that many adjustments. What we're seeing is that the team is getting confident. We're getting fit, and that's important. I'd classify today as a good game. We still know that there's a lot we can improve on, and we want to keep progressing as this tournament goes.
Paul.
Greg, obviously Giassi gets a lot of stick from fans. He's come under a lot of criticism. How gratifying was it for you for him to have a night like tonight, and what effect do you think it's going to have on him going forward?
That's the thing. We work as a group. We support each other, and Giassi's a guy that you know exactly what you're going to get from him, and I've said that all along. And you need, in your squad of 23 players, you need a majority of the guys that that can give you what you're asking them, and Giassi's a guy like that. So we're proud of him. We're proud of his effort. We know that he has a good ability. He's a tremendous worker, and it's nice to have him in the squad.
Go ahead.
Greg, first half, the attack seemed to kind of struggle to kind of find a rhythm. What was your thought at halftime? Were you happy? Did you see signs that things were going to turn around? And what was kind of your main message to the group at halftime?
It was just patience. We talked about, don't forget we went into halftime with a 1-0 lead, which you always want. But we talked to the group about just being patient. We felt that over time we'd get more breakthroughs, and then we adjusted a little bit positionally.
Yes.
Greg, is there a specific reason for playing Tyler on the right and Paul on the left? Or do you see those two as interchangeable, or is there something about their skill sets that makes you do it that way?
I think they can both play on either side. When we played Paul at wing back, right wing back against Jamaica, so we know he can do that. And Tyler, we've seen in Turkey play on the left. From our point of view, in terms of effectiveness, we like them on Paul on the left and Tyler on the right, but that's not to say they won't switch in the course of the game.
Yes.
Greg, how do you balance what you want to get out of the Panama game with the group winning, the chance to win the group on Wednesday versus rotating players? How are you going to approach that with a 2-0 record?
That's a good question, and to be honest, I don't have experience in that. This is the first time we're going through it, so we're going to have to figure it out. We know that the tournament is a lot of games in a short period of time, so there's going to have to be some balancing. Part of it was getting some guys off today to give them some rest, but that's going to be, an interesting problem that we're going to have to solve.
Yes.
Aaron Long, obviously had a big game today with the goals, but it was really an all-around game for him. I know he was a little touch and go with the hamstring coming into the tournament, but what do you think tonight, and how important is he going to be to any run you guys make?
Aaron had played well tonight, and as he gets more fit, he's a dynamic player. We rate him highly. We think we have 4 good center backs in camp, and together with Walker, they formed a good pairing in these first games. And it's about staying focused. I still think there's a couple chances we can do better on that Trinidad had, and that's something we're going to take a look at.
Greg, the Weston played a little bit further back than he did the other night, sticking closer to Michael, but then he did make his runs forward, I guess, when he needed to. Can you talk a little bit about how that was handled?
Yeah, as I mentioned, they're man-to-man, so if Weston was high and Tyler was high, there was no space, so we wanted to move Weston low. We wanted to move the right winger lower, detach from the back line, and then we felt like we can create space. And that's why Weston moved low. One of the concerns is he still going to be able to get in and around the penalty box to convert chances? And the thing about Weston is he's a dynamic player, and he proved that he can come from that deeper position and still be able to get in the penalty box.
It seemed like Christian in the second half, kind of his confidence picked up and he really impacted the game. I know you talk about it being a team game, but when he plays like that, how different can this team be, and how do you kind of encourage him to play within the system but also have the confidence to take a game over like that because he's capable of doing it?
I think what we're doing is trying to put him in position where he can do exactly that. So the structure around him accommodates him being flexible, and he can go wide, he can come inside, he can create space for himself. We could use the striker to get him the ball, bouncing it back to him. So that's what we're trying to do, and the reason why we're trying to do that is because he has these game-changing abilities, and it's something that you see tonight. Very fluid with his movement, dynamic, able to take players on ball. Good ball security, and then today was great that he was the final product was there also, which is always important for attacking players.
Greg, you spoke about Aaron Long, and you even spoke about Christian's defensive effort. But as a team, defensively, how did you think you guys fared tonight? Because it seemed like they did threaten you on the break a little bit. And then as a second question, what did you make of Josie's 15 minutes on the field tonight?
They got one solid transition in the first half where Tim's a little too tight to their attacker. They got one transition in the second half on a corner kick. Other than that, I think we did really well in a defensive transition. We asked the guys to be aggressive pressing when we lost the ball, and I think they did that. It's nice when you have guys at the back that can play 1-versus-1, and you're not so worried about it. So from that standpoint, I think our defensive effort was okay. They got a few chances, and we're going to look at how they created those chances. I thought, it started with the top guys having good shape, good structure, making the play predictable. Overall, I think that, the diversity in our game showed today. We hit a couple good offensive transitions. We had some good build-ups. So I liked that we played with that diversity, which is important in a tournament. Regarding Jose, I think, I know that, this is what you imagine when you see Josie playing with our team. A guy that you can play the ball into. He makes very good decisions, very soft feet, good movement to create his own space, very strong in physical duels. So for us, I think that's exactly how we imagine Josie playing is how he performed.
Thank you. 2 last questions, please. Go ahead.
Greg, does Josie playing so well right now give you a lot of confidence that you don't have to rush Josie back and you can give him all the time he needs?
Yeah, I mean, I think it helps when you have competition for spots, and that's in a lot of positions. You want to have competition. It makes guys sharper. It makes guys hungrier, and as a coach, it gives you, I think, more flexibility. So, it's nice to see Josie performing so well. It's also nice to see Josie coming on and making an impact.
Coach, for the team, does this win mean anything more considering the World Cup qualifier loss 2 years ago?
No. Mm-mm. For us, we advanced to the next round. I think that's important. Our focus was, preparing for this game, knowing that if we won, we'd be able to go to the next round, and that was the focus of the group. Trinidad was in our way, and we were focused on advancing to the next round of this tournament, and we did that.
Thank you, Coach Gregg. Thank you, members of the media.